3 up, 2 across, tap that play button 3 times, and walk through the archway into Dialogue Alley. Hello, and welcome to the podcast. Dialogue Alley is a show about Harry Potter books, book translations, and all other things magical. I am Erik, and with me today is Carly from All the Pretty Books.
Hello.
Hi, Carly. Hey. There's Melanie from the Harry Potter Collection.
Hi, that's me. I'm Melanie.
Hi, Melanie. Well, welcome, everybody. We're so glad you're here. Welcome to the show. The three of us are all Harry Potter book translation collectors. That means we collect Harry Potter books in different languages, from different countries, with different art on the front. And we also collect other Harry Potter stuff, too, like other Harry Potter books, like early prints of books and special editions of books.
Signed books.
Yeah. And we also collect other Harry Potter stuff that's not even book related, like Funko Pops sometimes, and wands maybe, and art that you can hang on the walls, and signed things. So if it's a Harry Potter thing, one of us probably has something to do with that.
Something.
Right? But the thing that draws us all together is always the Harry Potter book translations. That is our number one passion in the Harry Potter fandom, and we are here to talk about it on this podcast.
That's right.
That is right. That is absolutely right. We're going to continue a segment that we started about box sets tonight. So the main segment tonight is about another one of those box sets that you'll love. And I think I called it 5 box sets that we love and you will love too.
Here's another one.
I think that's a good title.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here's another one of the 5. Last time we did this segment, we talked about the tie box set. And this time, I'm not going to spoil it, but we're going to talk about another one that's pretty cool as well. But before we get to that, we have some news, like always. We will also have the translation of the show, and we'll probably have some other fun tidbits in between. Who knows? Who knows what'll happen?
The possibilities are endless, like I always say. And then Erik puts a damper on it and is like, no, I don't think the possibilities are completely endless. I think...
Well, we can do as much as we want within like
reason.
60 minutes.
The possibilities are within reason.
Yes. Exactly. So, speaking of new possibilities, why don't we talk about some news?
That segue was a bit of a stretch.
It was.
That was a bit of a stretch. I'll get rid of that.
No, I love it.
I love it. I hope it
stays.
It started,
keep it.
As soon as I started saying, I was like, this is going nowhere. This is going absolutely nowhere.
So I feel like we always are asked, like, where do we get these books from? How do we get, like, rare books or these hard to find editions? How do we come by them? And what are some of our, like, secret spots for them? And I have to say that one of my secret spots, which isn't a big secret at all, paid off last week because in a relatively routine search on Facebook Marketplace, I was looking for just Harry Potter books. That was literally all I typed in. And somebody was selling a bunch of sets of Harry Potter books. And because of my classically trained eye, I was able to see that one of the sets, she was including a Scholastic School Market in it. And she was selling the whole set for $30. So in my head, I'm like, I don't care the condition of the set. I don't care anything else about any of these other books. I just want that Scholastic School Market. Even paying for $30 and getting all the books, like, it's still worth it to get the Scholastic School Market in there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so did a bit of back and forth, and she was willing to sell me the book separately from the set. She didn't even need to sell me the set. I got a Scholastic School Market book for $5, guys.
That's awesome.
And here's the thing, and this is the other side of the story that I want to share, is that I have a really hard time with the fact that I bought a Scholastic School Market book for $5 because
I would too. Don't worry about it.
I know, because I know that it's worth more. And what I could have done is I could have said like, hey, just so you know, you have a Scholastic School Market book, blah, 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 and it's worth $150. I didn't do that. I bought it for $5. And I felt like absolute doo-doo when she messaged me after she had already sold me the book, agreed on the deal, shipped it out, and said, oh, I just realized how valuable the book is, and I guess I should have done my research, but I'm a person of my word, so enjoy the book. So
honestly, like, I wouldn't feel bad about it. That's just me.
I don't know. That's because you're a Slytherin and I'm a Hufflepuff.
Yep.
Carly.
My idea, though, is just like her, you have to know what it is, not only that you're buying, but what you're selling. So the onus of responsibility is on her before she actually makes the deal. There's plenty of information. We help distribute the information, usually for free. If people don't want to use it, that's fine. Like, that's their decision not to research what it is that they're selling. I have no problem buying that.
Well,
I would feel worse about it in this situation, but if it's actually, no, I would feel worse about it if it was like a translation that people know has been selling for a lot of money on eBay and someone's just selling it for $5.
Why?
Like, I don't know. I'd feel worse about that, especially if it's a book that's worth like thousands of dollars sometimes. I don't know.
Tough. I mean, the tools are there for free. People can use them.
I know.
I have no problem
that's
taking
your Slytherin
advantage
brain.
of that.
And like, that doesn't mean I would still not take advantage of it, but I'm still allowed to feel like, oh man, like.
Yeah, you can feel however. I don't. I'm very excited, and I usually go celebrate with a Coke.
all right. So here's
I know you do. Anyway.
here's what's happening here. Carly the Slytherin is saying how cutthroat she would be. Erik the Ravenclaw is trying to reason with her as to why it isn't such a good thing. And here's Melanie the Hufflepuff talking about how I was honest with the woman and told her after the fact my plans for the book, and suggested to her that if I were to sell it, that I would give her some profit of the book because I felt so bad. And you know what ended up happening? Carly thinks I'm hilarious.
I love you so much. This is why we're buddies.
Sweet. but what ended up happening, because I did the right thing, she said, don't worry about it. I should have done my research. It's not a big deal. Please enjoy the book. Do whatever you want to do with it. And she said that she was possibly going to start book collecting, and I asked her to listen to our podcast.
Well, then I hope she doesn't hear this episode.
I hope she does. I hope she does. Because I genuinely am so appreciative of that book now, because I'm honestly probably going to be keeping it. I really wanted an additional Scholastic School Market in my collection. Because
they're beautiful
Nora
books.
has it's my favorite, and Nora also has a little collection of her own Sorcerer's Stone books in her nursery. It's just all the different versions of Sorcerer's Stone, and that was one that she was missing, so I wanted to have that book. So I'm so happy. So Nora gets the book.
I got my first Scholastic School Market for, I think it was $5.50, like $5.50 on eBay. This lady was just selling it, and I was so excited. I didn't tell her anything. I just happily bought it, paid like, I think $7 in shipping because I wanted priority in case she changed her mind or something, and got the book, and I still have it. It's lived happily ever after on my shelves.
I think it's worth mentioning that if this individual does listen to this episode, I am very appreciative that this individual honored her word when she agreed on a price with you. If this individual does listen to this show, I'm very it's nice that she honored her end of the deal, even though she found out that it was worth a little bit more, because that would have been even tackier if she pulled it back and said, never mind, after you'd already agreed on something. So
I don't do that. I'm not, if I agree on a price, that's what I keep it at. You have to. Because there's been times I've been wrong on price, or I've sold things too low, and then I find out after the fact. Am I mad about it? Yes. Do I keep the bargain? Absolutely. Because it's my responsibility.
I sold a book to Asta one time, and I had just assumed that the price of shipping, I think I've said this before, I assumed that the price of shipping to Finland was going to be around $30 to $40.
Oh, no.
To send this book over, so I incorporated that into my price. And it turned out it was almost $100. It was like right during the peak of COVID.
Oh,
and so
yeah.
I was like, man. And I mean, I honored that. I was like, hey, I told you it was going to be this much. Like, so like, I can't go back. I can't ask you for more money from just for shipping. Like, I told you it was going to be this much. And so, I mean, it wasn't like I lost money, right? But it was one that I had gone in on with someone else that helped me get it.
Right.
So I owed them some money too. So
yeah.
Yeah. But the shipping is just hard.
It is hard. It's hard to calculate, until you actually go to the post office. You can always kind of get an estimation, but...
And they keep raising shipping rates pretty quickly at the moment.
I know. So really... Like we always say, like, the price of the book includes shipping always. Like, you can't just say, but it's only a $14 book. I'm like, yeah, but if I'm mailing it to you across the ocean and that costs me $80, the book is now worth $94.
Right.
It's not just a $14.
It's not $14. It's $94 because you've got to include the cost of shipping in it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a really hard time. I mean, I've done it. We've all done it, right? Where we pay more for shipping than the actual book. It's just part of being a collector of anything that has weight.
It happens.
Yeah, it does.
It happens.
Ship happens.
Oh, boy.
Oh, you're the dad joke of the show. Look at Melanie go.
It's not really a dad joke. It's Melanie being punchy. It's a punchy joke because we're recording an hour past our scheduled recording time right now, which is an hour past my usual bedtime also. So I'm sleepy. But
it's my fault. It's my daughter's birthday today, so
I know. Happy birthday.
I should have gone to get a cake and eaten it for her. Mainly because I like cake.
That's in other news. All right, in other news, because we spent a lot of time on the Scholastic School Market, but a lot of important information in there.
Yes.
Erik got a new book.
I did. I got the new German paperback book. They come out with a new one every year with that same.
It's like the special edition. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's always Harry on the broom flying, and we've had like him outside. We've had him
in Hogwarts, which makes no sense. In Hogwarts,
and now we'd have him like on a brown background.
Yeah,
another brown background because one time it's like the brown background with the frames.
Yeah, and now it's just the background without the frame. Actually, it looks like he's in a frame.
Yeah, it actually does with the way the corners of the books are.
Yeah, so now he is the portrait.
He is the portrait. No, one of my really good friends from Berlin, he's German. He came and visited this past week. He went home yesterday, actually. So I hadn't seen him since before my daughter was born, and she turned 5 today. So it's been 5 years since I'd seen him. So thanks, pandemic. But
I love Berlin. It's such a beautiful
city. It's really great to see him. And he asked if I needed anything from Germany. And I was like, well, if you could find this book, it would save me $3 on shipping. Because I think Book Depository, you could get it for like $9.
Yeah, it's great. I think it's like €5.99 or something like that. Like the paperback special editions are not. They're not.
Although I will say, he did text me when he was at the bookstore, like the day before he left, and he had a picture of the anniversary book, the red one that we've talked about before. Just outstanding book, right? And he goes, oh, do you have this one? This book is incredible. And I'm like, well, yes. 1, I do. 2, yes, it is incredible. And 3, can you just look to see if they sell the box set at that store? And they were not selling the box set. So
I've not seen the box set of those in a long time.
I know. I feel like they popped up on eBay, on Amazon, like when they were first releasing it. And I was so angry about it because
you were very angry.
Sucker for a box, but I should have known. But
you'd already bought the 7.
I know. I already had all 7. I wasn't going to buy just to have another set of books just to get the box. What's funny is I think Peter was like just gifted. Like I watched in one of his videos where like people just send him stuff. Someone gifted him the box set of these books. And I think it's going to be in his next sale. And I said to him like, I'll take the box. and then you could still sell the books because I just want the box. And he's like,
I want the books.
You could buy the box individually, but it came with book 7 as well.
Well,
yeah.
But you didn't get the other stuff that come with the box. You didn't get the cardboard figures. You didn't get the extra art. You just got
like, you know how
the
we
box.
were talking about like with the tie box set, like how it kind of looked like a dollhouse. Like this actually came with like little paper dolls. Like
right.
Like this had the paper dolls that you needed for the tie box set.
And it's such a well thought out box set too. Like the box art itself is just wonderful. It doesn't copy the other art that it has. It just complements the other art on the books. So it really is just such a treat for the eyes.
Well, speaking of box sets and speaking of treats for the eyes and speaking of German, spoiler alert, why don't we get into our main segment and talk about another German box set?
See, Erik, that's how you do a segue.
If my mic wasn't so expensive, I would do a mic drop right there. But it's hanging on my boom arm.
You can just swat it right out of the air. Bam! Well, hi everyone, I'm Erik, and welcome to our main segment titled 5 Box Sets That We Love and You Will Love Too. This is part 2 of this adventure through box sets that some of us have more of than others. In our first edition, we covered the splendor of the new tie anniversary box set, which I do not own, but these two ladies do, and I know a lot of our listeners do as well, and it's something that they're trying to convince me to spend more money on. This episode is no exception. I also do not own this box set, so why I'm hosting the main segment again for this part, I don't know. Maybe we'll get to one that I have in the future, and then maybe I won't have to host a section about something that I can just see a small photo of.
You have one of the 5.
One of the 5 that we have listed, or maybe you have 2 of the 5.
I do. Well, the one that I wanted to talk about was the French Room of Requirement set, but we have already talked about that
a lot. We've talked about that one a lot.
Yeah.
It was a translation of the show. We did the whole box set as a translation of the show.
Because it's phenomenal.
And, I mean, I only have a few. The only foreign box sets I have 2 German and 1 French. So that's it, really. And then I have all the Finnish books and all those Taiwanese books that just came out. But
do you see this one in the notes that I'm making big?
I have that one. I have that one too. Never mind.
There you go. You have 3 of them.
2 of the 5. 2 of the 5 are in my possession.
All right.
Look at you go.
There you go.
And when you buy the new tie, you'll have that one too.
Oh, yep, because I'm going to buy it. Maybe not. Who knows?
We know you will. It's okay.
Someday I will. Yes. Anyway, so for part 2 of 5 box sets that we love and you will love too, we are going to be talking about German books. Yes, German books, because we all know that the Germans and those folks over at Carlsen Publishing over there in Germany love Harry Potter more than any other country and any other publisher, because they publish so many books in German, and they're all different, and they're all awesome.
Fabulous.
I don't think there aren't any German books that are just kind of like, meh.
No, they're all winners. No, they're all winners.
You see them. Oh, they are all winners. They are whiz bangs. They are bangers. They really slap. Whatever you want to say.
Oh my gosh! This is why you're doing the main segment, because you use words like slap
and whiz bang.
Oh, and speaking of slap, this set slaps. Let me tell you,
it does.
Because not only does it look good on your shelf, because there is an image on the spine of the books, which we love, but there's only 4 books in this box set. It's a whole box set. It's complete, but there's only 4 books. And I mean, I don't want to spoil it, but it's the first 4 books in the series, because logically that would make sense, but who knows?
That does make sense.
That does.
Yeah. So someone else please describe this, because I'm looking at a small picture of it. I mean, I've seen lots of pictures of this.
I can make the picture bigger. Do you want to see it bigger?
I can make it bigger too. I've seen. Oh, there you go. Thank you very much. That's lovely.
Now it's on a separate page. There you go.
I've seen lots of pictures of this set. This is one that I would like to own someday, because it's only 4 books. I think that's really cool.
And it doesn't take up a lot of room on your shelves either.
It doesn't, because you know what? I will say, hey, pause. I have another box set. I have that Magic Begins UK set that comes in like the 3 volumes.
Yeah.
With a little blue case.
I love that set. I love that one.
That's a very cool set. It takes up very minimal space. it's different enough to warrant my attention, and it wasn't that expensive. And I think all of those points can be said for this set as well. So someone else tell us.
I'm going to tell you one amazing point right now. Are you ready for it?
Do it. I'm ready for it. I'm already sitting down. That's great news.
Oh, this is really great news. You can buy them on Amazon right now for $32, this box.
Woohoo!
Okay, as soon as we're done, I'm going to buy it on Amazon for $32.
I'm going to send you the link.
Please text me the link.
This is how I love you guys. This is how we take care of each other.
It's in the notes and hyperlinked.
You know what's going to happen?
Go.
The 3 other people that are listening live right now that are our Patreon members, which support us on Patreon, they're probably all buying this right now too. And by the time I get to it, they're going to be sold out.
Oh no!
Oh no!
I hope not. But I don't know. I'm just saying. There it is, $32. Which is the location where I got my box set. I got mine on Amazon. I was going to say, shall I describe it to you, or would you like me to get you a box? Name that movie.
Wait, it's even on Amazon US?
It's Amazon US.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm buying it right now.
Sean just said, I want to see it, not buy it. Should I believe him? Yeah. Sean, you're listening in. You can have a link as well. Here you go. Oh
my gosh. The shipping, though, is a little bit...
Oh.
Ugh.
Well, what were we just talking about? We just talked about this.
I know. It's part of it. It's worth it. I'm doing it.
How much is shipping as you're complaining about it?
The total was $73.66 after tax and shipping.
That's still not super terrible.
It's less than $20 a book, and that's normal book price. So I'm always okay with that.
I'm a little upset that you guys didn't get my Lord of the Rings reference, I guess.
I don't like Lord of the Rings.
Podcast.
I didn't hear you speak for like the last 2 minutes because I was frantically trying to navigate Amazon on my computer, which I haven't done in, I don't know.
I was going to talk about this box set, and I said, shall I describe it for you, or would you like me to get you a box? Which is from Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
Should I like re-record that whole section, and I can now say, well, I have this set, but it's not in the mail.
It's fun listening to you buy it.
No, I like this. I like the process happening live. All right, so let me tell you a little bit about this box set.
Please do.
It is a lovely shade of like a light pastel-y green.
Yes.
Which is very lovely. And each spine... Hold on, is Erik still in? I heard it.
Erik is still there.
No, I'm here. Okay. I'm here.
All right, just checking. Okay, so each spine has the background of that light green color, and the 4 books together have an image of Harry, which is amazing, and it looks phenomenal on the shelves. Like 10 out of 10 for how this book looks on the shelves. Or how the set looks. It's awesome.
Yeah, it is.
It's the classic German Harry.
Oh, yes, it is. It's Sabina Wilhelm is the illustrator, and her art of Harry Potter is fabulous.
It's so iconic.
Mm-hmm. I would say it's pretty much up there with Grand Prix. Yeah, like it's as recognizable to me at this point as Grand Prix stuff for any of the first edition Harry Potter books out of UK. Like I know who.
Yeah,
the illustrator
I
is.
totally agree with that.
And if you don't have a German Harry Potter book and you collect Harry Potter stuff and you like Harry Potter art, like you can get the first book right now on Amazon for really
inexpensive. Yeah, it's really inexpensive.
They're cheap, and the art is all so good. And even that like anniversary edition, the red one. It's only $22 on Amazon US.
And that's Jacopo. Isn't that a Jacopo Bruno?
Yeah.
That's the illustrator of the 20th anniversary German. I believe so.
What's cool about this set in particular, I don't know, because you get a lot of new, quote unquote, new art, but it's still art by the same artist, so it's slightly different in certain ways. I don't know. It's amazing. The box set itself has some unique art on it. And again, it's only the first 4 books. It's smaller on your shelves. So I guess all of those are things that like make this like worth getting. Specifically the spines, I think, is the most impressive thing about the book or about the set. Other things that we talked about with the tie set were we wanted to talk to you guys about the bonus content that come with this set. which I believe it comes with like postcards with even more art. But
yes, postcards of the book covers.
Which is really cool. And one thing that I will say also that is bonus about this set is the fact that it came out for books 1 through 4. I know for me, I'm like, oh, I'm so bummed that there's only books 1 through 4. But wait, you can buy books 5 through 7 separately, and they come in the same format. Now, they don't have the same image of Harry, but they are that same pastel-y green color. And when you look at the front, it's the same format where it's the original German cover art, but it has
that green border,
light green border, which is what this set is kind of known for. So you can have a complete set of books 1 through 7 in this set, but only 1 through 4 are going to be in the box. But that's
do you have your cool 1 thing. Through? You have your box set with you? Because I don't. My box set is in storage.
It's boxed up.
Yes, my box set is boxed up.
Ha ha ha. I do. They're in my library, which I am currently not in.
Dang it. My question is some of the books, and this may be one of them, they were not made for sale separately. Like if you look at the spell box set that is actually in the box set, they weren't tagged for sale separately. There's not going to be a barcode because they weren't supposed to be sold separately. And I wasn't sure if this was one of them or not. I couldn't remember.
This set, I'm pretty sure that's the I
don't think they're supposed to be sold separately.
No, I think that's for the character set, the teal character set 1 through 7. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure that's the one that
may be correct.
Because when you pull those books out, they don't have the title on the cover of the book. It's meant to be in the box set.
I love that box set. That's another one that's a favorite of mine too. Oh my! And the box art. Anyway, we could go on. That's not the point of our show. It is the 4 box. It is this one right here, but it's one to have too, Erik, in case you don't have it.
I mean, it is the whole point of our show is to be talking about these books. But this particular episode, we're just talking about this box set,
not the teal one.
I love that you just mentioned all the bonus content, and I didn't even know about that until I just bought it 5 minutes ago, and so you're saying all this stuff, and I'm like, ooh, I get cards. Ooh, oh, there's stuff on this. Oh, there's more art in the box. Ooh,
it's a really good box. See? It's a really good box.
It's so cool.
I would buy this with no bonus content just because of what the spines look like, and I can't wait to put this on my shelf.
It's so cool. And I think for like our next category and like how we're chatting about this is we talk about like the uniqueness of the books themselves. I mean, it's the spines that sell this set, right? Like, it's the fact that when you look on your shelves, you see these 4 books together and what the spines look like is amazing. The only thing that makes them unique other than that is that green border that we were talking about. Other than that, they're paperback. I'm pretty sure they're the same size as the original paperbacks.
I think you're correct.
And they also, I could be wrong. They might be a little bit bigger. I don't know. But, they're the same original cover art to the original German cover art. So it's that exact same art on the front, just with that green border.
Yep.
Which is kind of like what they did with one of the book club editions too, right? It's just the same cover, but it's got a border.
I mean, and look at all these other German editions. Like, it is not outside the MO, I guess, of Carlsen to do that. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
They have a pretty good thing going at Carlsen, so I think they're content with just kind of cutting and pasting art and putting it on other stuff.
But it's such good art that no one complains.
People like I know people like us keep buying them.
That's the thing, and like exactly, we're still gonna buy them. And Erik proved that he's still gonna buy the new German book with the same exact cover art as the other German books. What I will say is when it comes to quality of the box itself, this is something that we always talk about.
Right.
Boxes are fragile. And that is like pretty much across the board. I feel like the UK box sets are probably some of the sturdier box sets, and that's only for the newer ones. The Johnny Duddle box set is a very sturdy box.
Mm-hmm.
I would say
the signature edition box set's a pretty good one.
Yeah, I was going to say any of the U.S. box sets are really
the U.S.
really
exactly.
thick. They're like double folded cardboard.
Exactly, like the U.S.
thick.
and the newer U.K. box sets, I will say, are significantly better quality than any other box sets that I have seen. That being said, this is not a very good quality box set.
No.
Erik, be prepared that you might have to be doing some repairing, or it might be my student said this today, wibbledy-wobbledy.
Yeah.
It's wibbledy.
Love that word. It's great. Very descriptive.
He was doing like pond stones, and he goes, this one's wibbledy-wobbledy. And I'm like, you're exactly right. Exactly right. So yeah, I feel like that's how this box tends to be. But
yes,
that doesn't deter from the books at all, or the fact that once those books are in there, it holds the box together quite a bit. So
right. My other two German box sets that I have, the box is ripped.
Oh, yeah.
It's not ripped, but like, the corners, like, so they flap up and down, which makes it very convenient to take a book out. You can just kind of lift up the lid a little bit and pull the book out.
There's a silver lining.
But yeah, like, it holds together really well because the books keep it in that same boxy shape. So, I was very disappointed when I got my Spell box set in the mail, and it was like already ripped. And like, I got it from Lena, and I trust her so much. And she's like, only one of the sides, she said, like, only one of the sides was ripped, and I got it, like, two of the sides were ripped, and it was like, it just happened in shipping. And
there's nothing she could. Oh, there's nothing she could have done. There's nothing she could have done.
I feel so bad.
She
packaged them so well.
Exactly.
Jinx. But she does. She wraps them so well. So I know it's not her. It's part of it too, like with the Spell box set or even like the Rainbow box set. The books are so heavy that the box stands no chance.
Right. You almost have to like carry the box separately, which there's no way you could ship the box.
No, right. It'd be so expensive.
But that would be ridiculous. Yeah.
Right. And I will say, like what Melanie was saying, like if she hadn't said it, I was about to. When this box set came in for me, the seller actually took the books out, wrapped them individually, and then took the box and then like collapsed the box. So I had to re-put it back together again.
Oh.
It was very flimsy. Like it's just a very thin piece of cardboard. Yeah. It's very flimsy, but it folds. And they just folded along the folds that were already present, but now when I take the box or the books out, the box like leans left like a sad box.
Yeah. Like a sad box.
But when you keep the books in there, it's fine. It's not like I read German anyway, so we're fine.
Yeah. So it's fine.
Yeah.
You'll be fine, Erik. I'm glad you bought it.
Me too.
And the art on the box is really fun. Like it's really fun.
So cool. What a good set. Yeah, and the last thing that I'll touch on, which we've already kind of touched on a bit, is the size of the set. Like, it's only the 4 books, so it's small. It doesn't take up that much room on your shelves. So, totally worth it. Totally fun to have on your shelves. I feel like it's one of those that, like, when I see other Harry Potter collectors, I know of a lot of collectors that will, collect certain Harry Potter books, but they're just Harry Potter like memorabilia collectors. But I think that this is one of the sets that like they would kind of see.
Well, because it still looks like old school Harry Potter to me is what it reminds me of. Like it's what it like harkens back to, I guess, is that even though it's German, it still reminds me of the German Harry Potter books from when they first came out. And it makes me happy.
Yeah, well, like I have a box set of the American books that's just the first 3. So like I get that same vibe with this. It's the first 4, so it's still kind of like right in that huge like wave of Harry Potter
with all the hype and all of it.
Yeah, like even though they knew there were going to be 7 books, they still made a 4-book box set that you could buy. Like that's crazy. Yeah. Like. They knew that people were going to buy them.
Well, what I love
other books that are going to come out
is actually like or Bloomsbury. They made the two book box set. I think that's just so cool that the books were already that popular by book 2 that they started making them in box sets at book 2. Like, how cool is that? Anyway,
way cool.
Way cool. I digress, but very cool.
Well, we can tell you something else that's really cool.
Oh.
And it is a phenomenal translation of the show.
It is. I'm actually super stoked about it. All right. So our translation of the show is actually my heartbreak book. And was the first of my big 6 translations. It's Greenlandic.
Greenlandic.
And it is such a fun book.
Oh, it's so good. I say that about every book, but they are just all so good.
And this one, what were you going to say? Someone was going to say something, Erik?
It was Erik who was going to say something.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
To me, it's so good just because it's so crazy to me that there's a Harry Potter book in Greenlandic.
Right.
And this was the one on the Wikipedia list that when I was going down, floored me. I was like, wait a sec, there's a book from Greenland? That's insane.
Yep. And it is.
There is.
It is so fabulous, right? Greenlandic as a language in and of itself I could go on and on and on because I've loved polysynthetic languages, which Greenlandic falls into, since I first found out about them in 2007. And
well, maybe when you give some general info on the language, you should go on and on just a teensy bit about
a little bit,
because it should be worth mentioning because it is super fascinating.
It is, and it's fascinating to me that people can even grammar this because the grammar is so different from what we usually have. So what a polysynthetic language is it means it basically builds upon itself. So you have these words in Greenlandic that are the equivalent of one of our sentences. How fascinating is that? It's a word, and it's the equivalent of our sentences with subject and verb and all these other things that go in a word. How
that is pretty
neat,
outrageous,
right? And what is even
one crazy night playing Scrabble.
Oh, I know. And what is even neater is that sometimes you have these word particles that only appear in one of their own word. It only appears in that one phrase word. That's it. That's the only, so you can't even learn vocabulary. You have to learn how it grammars. I am fascinated. In case you can't tell by the tone of my voice, it literally makes me super excited to talk about this language. I just love it so much. I would love to learn how to speak it. It would be totally useless, but I would love to learn how to grammar a polysynthetic language. That's probably definitely on my bucket list. I'm not even kidding.
Well, that's what you should have done during the lockdown.
I'm not saying I didn't try because I actually... No, me and Harrison actually did try to learn Greenlandic. I'm not even joking.
I remember you telling me that. That was funny, yeah.
And we realized that it's really hard. It is just, it grammars so differently because, again, you don't learn vocabulary words. You have to learn how things grammar. And you're like, oh, goodness.
The only thing that wasn't difficult is when, on your Book That Lives project, you have someone that reads the, first part of this book on your page, which that's on your website, right?
Yes, you can actually hear how Harry Potter and Greenlandic sounds. It's the first page. And to say that was not difficult to get is also comical.
Oh, I bet. So, I pulled my book out, actually, when I found out that you had someone recording that, and I followed along, and you can definitely follow along.
Yeah.
It's very easy to, if you can read the Latin alphabet, which is the same as English. There's other
we use Latin letters
that I don't necessarily know, but yeah, I could easily follow along with it phonetically, and I knew exactly what part the person reading was at. So, that part was pretty easy. However, some of these words are 30 to 40 to 50
They're
letters
really long,
which is insane.
They're really, really long. And I'm fascinated by it. I love that this book exists. I'm tickled pink, actually, that it does. And so anyway, let's get down to the book itself, because I could just continue going on about the language.
Well, let's mention the publisher and translator.
That's what I'm about to do.
Oh, sorry. I thought we were getting right into the tots. Oh,
no, we're not.
I love tots. I love tots.
We love the tots, but we're not there yet. I'm still geeking out about the book.
Okay.
So the translator is Stephen Hamakin, who actually died. And so that could be, part of the reason why we're not going to see any more books. But he died, I think, 2009 or so. And there's been mixed reactions from the Greenlanders that I've spoken to, because me being me, I have to find out how the translation is as far as like quality wise, and it's been mixed reviews. The publisher is Atuak Yorvik, who is also now
really well.
That was really impressive. Great. Well done.
Merci. And they're also defunct. So, in fact, the big publisher right now in Greenland is Millik, and they're run by 2 people. And that's
so we have a translator that has died and the publisher that is defunct.
Right.
In a country where only, spoiler alert, 56,000 people speak this language.
Well, and there is actually different dialects. So Greenlandic actually falls into 4 different dialects. One is Kalaallisut, which is actually what Harry Potter's written in, and that's the biggest one. And then there is, I think, Inuktitut, and 2 others. Inuktitut is the second largest speaker group. And so Nuuk is the largest city with like 16,000 people. And then I forget the second, third, and fourth largest cities, but that's kind of what divides up, if I remember properly, what divides up some of the dialect base, because the cities are pretty far apart. The only way to really get between them, you can't even really drive because it's so frozen. You have to fly between the 2. So it's going to cause some linguistic divide. Yeah, Inuktitut, Tuunmullisut, and there's another one. Anyway, it's an absolute fascinating language. And also, interestingly, I believe this is one of the only, or maybe it's not an endangered language, even though the speaker base is so small. Usually when you find languages with a speaker base this small, it's considered somewhat on the endangered language list. But Greenland itself only has this many people, so everyone in Greenland pretty much speaks it. So it's not endangered. It's actually doing pretty okay. It's just a small speaker base because it's Greenland, which is really fascinating too. Like I could keep nerding out. I'm sorry. I just love it so much.
You sound like someone just dropped off like a DQ Blizzard at your house.
They did not.
Randomly.
I love languages, you guys. But I mean, I have a master's in linguistics, so I should.
That's
very nerdy.
Too,
you're very impressive, is what you are.
I'm
very impressive.
Incredibly impressed. And Carly, I know that Greenland falls under the Denmark kingdom.
It is. It's an autonomous part of the Danish kingdom. So at one point, it is not uncommon, because at my work, we have interpreter apps and interpreters and stuff, and we do not have Greenlandic, although we have Esperanto, which is totally useless for the most part. So I don't understand.
I know, we have that too. I don't know why it's even on our show.
Right. But that's a different topic for probably never a day for us. But anyway, we don't have Greenlandic. However, if we get somebody from Greenland that comes in, more than likely they'll either speak English and or Danish, so we can reach them that way. It's not uncommon for people in Greenland to speak Danish because they are a part of the Danish kingdom. However, very recently they've started doing away with Danish on, I believe, their public documents, if I remember properly. So there's even a further push for Greenlandic. I think they're trying to just make it pretty much all Greenlandic now, instead of Greenlandic and Danish as the 2 languages for doing business in the country. But it is still considered a part of the Danish kingdom. It's just autonomous, which is also probably part of the reason why you're not going to find Harry Potter and Greenlandic for books 2 through 7, because they have access to the stories in other languages. Like, Danish is no shortage of, Harry Potter books. They have several different editions there. And of course, English, should they want to go that route, they have got lots of editions there. So, I mean, there's not a demand for it at the end of the day. It's more of a language pride, is how I would look at it. But I think it's fun that it exists, and I love that it exists, and I wish they all existed because I'd buy them all. Are we ready for the tot scale? I could keep going.
Are you ready? You just
ready?
Exploded a plethora of information.
I just typed in our live recording chat room on our Discord, which if you're part of our Patreon, you can listen live to these recordings and chat along with us. I just said Carly is rocking these stats. They're not even in our show notes, and her brain is just oozing out these factoids of wonder.
I just love this language. I just love this language. I really, really do. It is beautiful to hear. And if you want to hear it, you can hear it on my website on the Book That Lives page at alltheprettybooks.net, because it's just really cool. And it was a really hard recording to get. Thank you. It's Harrison who eventually got it. He bugged the Greenlandic Language Institute or Society enough. And the person wrote back and they're like, well, I don't really have time, but I'll do it on my lunch break or something like that. And that's how we got it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And we'd had a really hard time getting a recording.
Melanie and I almost did this for the translation of the show last episode when you weren't here.
I'm so glad we did.
We did Bulgarian instead. I'm so glad we didn't, because, man, this is just... The amount of info you have on this is
oh, I talk about this language
splendid.
At least. I talk about Greenlandic or Greenlandic Harry Potter at least once a day. True story.
Oh, I love it. So let's talk about it some more. Tell me some rarity and value information.
So the book itself is, I mean, it's definitely shot up in demand as more and more people know it's a thing, and more people have entered the translation, collecting Harry Potter translations, I guess, collectorship. When I bought mine, I think I paid $200, and I had a really big talk with Peter, like if the book is worth it kind of thing, because that was the most I'd ever paid for a translation, and we were both kind of like, but you'll have it. This was my heartbreak book. It was the third chance I'd had to come and actually buy it, so it was really difficult. And that it actually... I bought it, and then now they're selling for $2,000 multiple times. I know several different transactions that have happened for $2,000 for this book in the past 18 months or so. So, and I can't say that it's not worth it. There's in Greenland, for a book to be like, for a popular book in Greenland when it's published, it's like less than 1,000 copies. Because again, there's 56,000 people or so in Greenland. So they're not going to make a lot of copies to begin with. It's a small country, and there's only 4 or 5 bookshops in all of Greenland. That's it. So again, limited access, small language, they're not going to make a lot of these to begin with. It's just, they're not there. So I would say there's probably less than 1,000 of these made. And that would be a lot. That would be considered like a big run for any Greenlandic book. So it could even be less. We don't really have a number, but I've discussed this with my Greenlandic friends. And that's kind of the number that we keep coming back to, is right around probably 700 to 1,000 of these made. Of the big 6, I would say for a time they were probably some of the easier found, because what had happened was a bunch of Greenlanders were realizing that the books were all valuable because of the Reddit posts and whatnot. And they were trying to sell them because they had the book, they didn't care. And they just wanted them off their shelves, I guess. So a lot of them started coming to market. But now you're not seeing a bunch of them anymore. Or there were people selling off their collections who had the book, and now they've already sold and they're in private collections. So it's getting harder to find again. It was a little bit more visible than it is. So I would say it's a see it, buy it book, definitely. And I would say $2,000, they're already selling for $2,000. So I can't say it's not worth it. I know of several that have sold for that. So
yeah, I mentioned I did a bonus episode. So if you subscribe to our Patreon, you get access to our bonus episodes. I did a bonus episode about how I got each of my big 6 books, and I think I mentioned, I'm not going to give too much away because you should go listen to that if you haven't, but this was the first book that I paid over $1,000 for, and like I'd seen some sell for more than what I paid for it, and I've seen some sell for less than what I paid for it, but
yeah.
In the end, it's still like right now in 2022, like, I wouldn't expect this book to sell for much less than what I paid for it. I'd expect it to sell for more than what I paid for it. Right. So, just because of all the factors that you've mentioned, I think everyone that wanted one,
they were able to get one.
Right, between when I got it and now has gotten one. I know there are people still looking for them, and they're still out there, but they're going to be expensive.
And they're less
because demand is high. Right.
Demand is getting higher. There's less books for sale coming out of Greenland. And there is one bookshop in Greenland that has a website. I believe it's at Tuagat. And that's in Nuuk, which is the largest city in Greenland. But It is still, and I don't know if they're still around. I haven't had a need to look, but the guy is very nice if you email him. And he gets apparently a lot of requests for these because when I emailed him back in 2015, he was like, another one. So he's gotten quite a few requests for them, I'm guessing. And I know several other people that got their books through him, but I think it's just very hard. I think, moving into the book itself, like the Tot scale, I mean, I'm very biased to this book. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to be very honest straight out. Like, you heard how I nerded over the language. It's about the same with the book. I have a giant smile on my face every time I look at it. And it's about as big as when, like, people come and I show them the new Lithuanian books. I do the same with Greenlandic. I just don't tell you all about it because I take enough flack for the new Lithuanian books. But I do, like, people come in and I'm like, this is in Greenlandic, isn't it fabulous? And they're like, okay, that's cool. But anyway, back to the Tot scale. Let's rate it really fast. So what do we think of the smell?
I don't know. I haven't smelled this book probably since I got it, which was quite a bit ago.
Really?
I'm smelling mine. I'm smelling it real.
Me too.
Real deep here. Yep. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. I'm giving it an acceptable.
Mine smells. Go on, Mel.
I was going to say I'll also give it an acceptable because I feel like it smells cool and clean, but nothing like outrageously stand out.
Yeah, I like that. I like the word clean. It smells clean.
Mine smells very clean. Mine smells like it's how I kind of think Greenland would smell, so I'm going to give it an outstanding because I love Greenland.
Okay.
It's really very biased. Wow. Like, it's not even about the book. At this point, I'm writing the language. Let's just be honest. So size and proportions. I love the size and proportions of the book.
Is an outstanding.
I know.
And that's not me being biased. That's me, like, looking at it, like, just as any other book. It's 100%. It's outstanding. It's just... It's big. It's so beefy because the words are so long.
They're so long.
Some words like take up an entire page almost.
I know. But here's one. It's over half the page long.
What page is that on?
249.
Okay, I'm looking right now.
I believe. Yeah. Yeah, 249. It's at the very bottom. You can't miss it. It's delightfully long. It starts with a T.
Or the last word on the page?
Yeah, I love that.
Isn't it fabulous? Yeah. Like, seriously, I love this book. I love the language. Size and proportions are definitely an O for me because how can you have a book and a language that's this glorious not be outstanding? Let's be real.
Oh, it's outstanding.
Yeah. How does it feel in your hand?
I'd agree.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. It's really heavy. Yeah, I mean, I guess. It's compared to other books, I'd give it an O for size and proportions. It's what I would expect.
It's all the knowledge in there, Erik. Bookish. It's all the knowledge.
All right, it's an O. It's an O for me for that.
And how does it feel in your hand? It is definitely heavy, like you weren't lying.
It's definitely not an O for me for feeling in my hand. It's very slippery. It feels very stiff.
I love it.
I'm giving it an I don't know.
I love it. I'm
giving it an A. I'm giving it an A. I don't. It doesn't feel great. It's really heavy, but it feels like, and this is delving into quality, like it feels like I don't want to really open it because
I don't want to crack the spine
of how it is. So like I'm giving it an A. It's okay.
It's
really
very
it's okay.
Stiff. Yes, and if you open it wide, you're gonna crack your spine.
You're 100% gonna.
So I'm not gonna open it. So that's how I'm like.
I feel like so it's a paperback, but like the jacket still has like the little flaps, like
little
what?
Yes, it's the flappy flaps,
which makes. You make it sound so cute, but what I'm going to say is because it's like a bit thicker on like the ends, when you just hold the book with like the paper part in your hand and then you feel the ends of the books, it just doesn't feel comfortable.
No.
I mean, I'm biased. It would be a fabulous weapon though, right?
It would. You know what?
And the corners are super sharp. Like, if I were going to whack someone, this is definitely a book I'd consider.
Yeah, I'm lowering this to a poor for me.
Wow.
Actually.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm at an acceptable. I'm lowering to an acceptable for how it feels in
No, you know what? No, false. I will say how it feels in my hands. I'm saying A, but now moving to quality of the book, I'm saying poor.
Oh, wow.
For quality.
No, I would also say A for quality.
I don't like that the cover is so stiff that I really am so...
It withholds over time. This is a 20-year-old book. It looks brand new. Like,
It does.
The pages aren't even yellowing.
I don't know.
And the glue...
I don't know if anyone...
Like, this is
has read this book.
People have. This is a giant...
Not my copy.
My copy has been read, actually.
Is your spine cracked? My
I
spine
have one
is
spine...
totally flat. One
spine crease, and I'm super jealous of yours, but I have one spine crease from where they did read the book. I will say, for this being an older book, and it comes from, Greenland, it's a stout book. Like, it's very well glued. The spine is very well intact. It's a book that I think could handle some readings, to be fair. Like, I think the quality is actually really, really good as far as, like, making. I don't know about... but it's held up over time very well. The pages aren't yellowing. They're not even oxidizing, for that matter. If you look at Indonesian...
Okay, fine. I'm moving it up to an A because it's from Greenland.
I was going to say, along the lines of what Carly said, if we're rating the quality of the book as how this book would hold up over time, I think it's so stiff because... they wanted to use heavy, high-quality material, like maybe not high-quality material, but they wanted to use hefty material so it would hold up. They wanted to use a lot of glue, obviously, so the spine is literally like a rock.
But it's a thick book. Like, we know that thick books can be problematic, and if you feel the individual pages, they're very nice pages. It's very nice paper. So it's going to, again, stand up to time very well compared to some of its other, like, translation neighbors.
Yeah, I'll give it an A.
For those reasons, I am shifting from the P to an A.
I'm going to say exceeds expectations, although I'd give it an O, but I know there's much better. I just can't be biased at the end of the day.
All right.
But I want to be.
So do we have AAO? No, AA.
I'm E. Because I did not expect it, and I did not expect it to be this stout. Like, it is a stout book. Right, there's definitely something there.
I think I said in our pre-recording chat, like you could use this as a brick and make yourself a little house if there were more copies available.
Definitely, and now the song "Brick House" is stuck in my head, and it's totally your fault.
Sorry.
Cover art interpretation. I mean, it's just a cover. I do like that. There's nothing there's no summary on the back. Like you see with a lot of books, there's no summary, there's no quote on the back. It's just actual art on the back of the book, which I think is cool. Although part of me wanted to see Greenlandic on the back of the cover. So that kind of also makes me sad. They probably
couldn't fit it. That's why. Like, they probably couldn't have fit it to make it look...
they fit the title fine.
What's the name of it? When, like, something, like, looks nice based on how it fits? Ergonomical? I don't know. Is that the right word?
No, that's not.
I'm tired.
Snazzy.
Yeah, it just doesn't look like, there were probably too many words to make it look like it was meant to be there. However,
or take up a lot of space.
I do like how they fit the title into the cover, which is
I do
nice.
too.
I feel like that's the only thing that is leaning me toward an acceptable for cover art and interpretation, because it's literally the exact same cover. There's no
it's not flashy.
There's no embossing. It's yellow.
And it rubs really well. One of the negative things about it is the ink rubs off the cover fairly easily if you're not careful. Like mine, you can see where the price sticker was, probably from the store, because you can see where they removed it, and there's a giant square removed thing on the back of the book. So that makes me sad. So I would just say it's probably an acceptable here from me as well.
Also acceptable for me, but bonus point that doesn't count for anything, that it does have those flaps that fold out, and the art continues under those flaps, just like book with a jacket would. So you do get the full Grand Prix art experience.
And they have about J.K. Rowling on the back
copy.
flappy. So I think that's nifty. If you want to read what J.K. Rowling looks like or reads like in Greenlandic, you can read it on the back flap. And it's pretty awesome.
Double secret bonus on the inside there.
I just love it. This is like, even if it weren't part of the big six, this is definitely a book I'd have to have in my collection because I love the language so much. Like, it's just a gorgeous thing.
Well, it's a book that I show someone like, hey, this is written in Greenlandic.
From Greenland.
What else do you see ever that's either from Greenland or written in Greenlandic? It's just not, not a place that many people even visit.
No. And then people are like, Greenlandic's a thing. And then I totally go into all my language facts about Greenlandic and they're like, okay, bye.
Yeah, I don't go that deep. They just look at the book.
I do, but
I can just have this part of you talking on a little like speaker, and I hit play, and I just play that like part for him.
Yeah, I just love it. Okay, I think we did it, you guys. I could keep going, but it gets redundant at some point. I think we've done it.
It's an amazing book. Overall, amazing book.
Yeah.
I feel like I say that every time. Overall, amazing book.
I mean, and we're not lying any time.
No, we're not. They're all good books. But on that note, that's going to be all we have time for today in this episode of Dialogue Alley Podcast. So you can find us all on Instagram. You can find Carly at All the Pretty Books. You can find Erik at Nocturne Erik. You can find me at the Harry Potter Collection. And you can also find this podcast at Dialogue Alley Podcast. And that's where you're going to see pictures of amazing books, like this Greenlandic book, and the amazing German box set that we talked about today. If you want to see any more images, you can go to Carly's website, which is alltheprettybooks.net, or my website, which is theharrypottercollection.com, and that has images of so many Harry Potter books. So if you just go down a rabbit hole of Harry Potter books, you can check those out at our website. And if you would like to have a little bit of extra Dialogue Alley in your life, you can support us on Patreon, which you could do by going to www.patreon.com/dialoguealley. And with that, you get access to bonus episodes. You get access to our Discord, which is an ever-ending or non-ending, intertwining, beautiful chat, never-ending, amazing, beautiful everything with everybody talking about Harry Potter books and collecting. And it's an awesome resource, especially if you are new on your collecting journey. Everyone helps everyone out. It's pretty amazing. And as always, thank you so much to everyone that continues to support us on Patreon. We love you. We appreciate you. You're the best Allie Measles on the planet. If you like what you're listening to, if you could leave us a written review and leave us some stars on your podcast listening apps, we would super really awesome most appreciate that as well.
I love those adjectives. That was great.
This is fabulous.
Melanie adds adjectives.
Must add more adjectives.
With all of that and all of those adjectives being said, it is time to walk graciously and gracefully back through the archway and into your daily lives. We'll catch you next time.
Goodbye.
Bye, everybody.
See you later.